If you're interested in augmented reality and user-generated content that uses that technology, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Alexis Mercedes, the project manager for Fractal Labs. We are an app development team that is passionate about furthering the UX of Web3. On this YouTube channel, we focus mainly on Web3 augmented reality metaverses. So if that is interesting to you, I would definitely recommend liking and subscribing because we post a video every single Tuesday. As you may have noticed from the title, this is part 2 of Occlusion. I'll link the original one above. Occlusion is when you're able to create the illusion of items passing between you and the video overlay. So a projection of a spaceship on top of a building is kind of cool, but a spaceship coming from behind a building is extra cool, and that is occlusion. The most common use of AR are filters that we put over our face to make funny things happen, rainbow vomit, giant eyeballs, you know the drill. But when we're talking about really rad applications that are going to wow, surprise, delight, being able to have that video manipulation interact with the actual world blows the doors open on what can be done. Over the reality, our AR app of choice has made it fairly simple to use occlusion with an NFT. I couldn't get it to work, and neither could Austin. Austin's the owner of Fractal Labs. CryptoSeed so kindly sent me a video of a troubleshooting step that worked for him. And when I did find that profile page, the connect wallet button I was looking for was grayed out. So the customer service folks told me to make sure I was using the Polygon network, and that's where things kind of left off. The default was set to Polygon. My over were in that wallet, and so was the one NFT that I have in that wallet on the Polygon network. In the mobile app, my NFT was still missing. And upon signing in, it became clear that I had 2 different accounts. Now, I thought I had solved that problem last time, but the default was set to Polygon, and I decided to stop trying to make sense of this situation and abandon the profile that only had 1 over. I simply signed out, and then when I signed in, I didn't use the off-chain login. Instead, I signed in with Metamask. Metamask is a wallet / tool that allows you to access Web3. I had never used Metamask on my phone because I figured it was easier to do something stupid and click on something bad from my phone than from my computer. So I had been avoiding having Metamask on my phone altogether. But I had to at this point. It was time. So it turns out that on your phone, it is an app of its own, unlike on a computer where it is a browser extension. Signing in was easy, and so was importing my over tokens. That process was super simple. Now, once I had those tokens imported, I realized that it was set to Ethereum. So I switched over to Polygon, and to my shock and amazement, I didn't have the tokens anymore. Now, one, this makes total sense because those tokens were on Ethereum, not on Polygon. What's weird is that when I sign in on my computer on Polygon, I can see the Polygon.
Here I misspoke. I said Polygon when I should have said Matic. Matic is the currency of the Polygon network. From my computer in the Polygon network, I can see that I own OVR, the over currency.
In any other circumstance, this is when I would have just given up, but this is my job, so I had to keep going. I ignored the fact that none of this makes sense and opened up over with the Metamask anyway. And voila, it worked. My Polygon NFT was in the right place, and that my NFT section existed. This is the first time I had that happen, so big win. Whoop, 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 whoop. I was ready to celebrate, thinking like this was the victory. However, the goal wasn't to get the My NFT section to function. The goal was to get Occlusion to work, and this had been the blocker. The blocker was overcome, but it's time to actually test Occlusion. My NFT loaded, and it seemed to understand going behind things like curtains or the refrigerator. But could I get my hand to pass between me and the NFT? Not yet. The way that these things load are a little bit finicky, so just to practice and get things the way I like them, I closed the app and reopened it, and this time had it sitting on top of my table. I thought that gave it a better starting spot. There's actually a button that allows you to change where the floor is, and it's super easy. You just press it, you make the phone parallel, scanny, and instead of scanning the floor, scan a different surface, and now that becomes the surface that your NFTs sit on. For a minute there, I thought that the occlusion function was totally just not working. Simple fix, turn occlusion on. I had forgotten that there's a toggle to have it off or on, and the symbol that they use to describe it is fairly obvious. I think this makes sense when it's trying to communicate occlusion off or on. I like to think about how symbols become standard, like save is still a floppy disk image, and it probably will forever, even though Gen Z doesn't know what a floppy disk is. So perhaps this will be what occlusion, how occlusion is described visually forever. If you have other recommendations for this symbol, nothing's in stone yet. Maybe you're the one who invents the occlusion symbol. I digress. Once it's turned on, can I pass between me and my NFT? Yes, I can. Absolutely. I started out on this occlusion fact-finding journey because Austin had asked whether or not Over was ready to allow him to have like a poster hovering behind him as an NFT. So that's exactly what I tested out, and even that worked. You can see it sitting behind me, behind the chair. So you could use an NFT as a backdrop, case closed. Note that while you're manipulating the location of your NFT and having it interact with the room in front of you, it has to be on a phone that has LiDAR, and it's easier to control when your phone is in vertical orientation. Here are some other examples of occlusion. Now that the Oculus Pro has recently been released, AR technology will be badder than ever. You know, the good kind of bad. Although VR is the center of what those types of headsets provide, wouldn't have seen anything in AR because the LiDAR technology and the computing skills wasn't there yet. That hardware wasn't ready. But now, in theory, programs like Over can create apps for Oculus Pro, and we should be able to do all the same things. The hardware is now there, we just need to build the software. And Over, if you're listening, Fractal Labs would love to be the app development team that gets your app ready for Oculus Pro. I hope to soon see the occlusion feature that works for the My NFT function to also work in the user-generated experiences function. This is an important step in place-based builds. When we can build things that are for a specific space, we can have more unique, more complicated, and more interesting experiences to look. For example, we designed our Voyage to the Moon experience to be built inside of a crater. There's the hex and the crater. Our vision was to make it interactive with that land, but it wasn't ready yet. It looks cool from anywhere, but that's kind of the whole thing, is it's the same anywhere. As a user, if the augmented reality wasn't simply an overlay, but actually interacted with the dips and grooves and that specific landscape, the same horizons and topography, then shit gets really cool. We're moving beyond Pokemon Go. This is also an important time to move beyond the Zuckerberg narrative, where everyone starts to live in Facebook land. Over is decentralized, and it's one step closer to equity. It's still a capitalist, and whoever has the most resources can get a hold of it, but at least it's affordable. A lot of hoops to jump through, but no redlining. I'm still wondering why my currencies don't appear in the Polygon version of my wallet when I'm on mobile. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, let me know in a comment below. That tells me that I'm making content worth watching. Next week, I'll have another review video for you. If there's a specific land you want me to check out, comment that as well. I'd be happy to follow your recommendations. Take good care of yourself. Bye.